Subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified about the highlights of India's smartest podcast, The Ranveer Show. This is TRS Clips.
Well, that is an entirely different possibility. We don't know if we can actually travel to a different universe because we don't even know how big our own universe is. The visible universe is a certain size. The universe is 13.8 or 9 billion years old. And the visible universe has a radius of about 90 billion light years. But the actual universe may be much larger than that. It may even be infinite. We have no clue. So about other universes, we would be able to explore them only if we can explore our own universe. But that itself is not possible because the universe is expanding. And the expansion of the universe is making certain parts of it inaccessible. Because the further you go away from Earth, the further the space-time is expanding. And at some point in time, it's expanding faster than the speed of light.
Wow.
So because of that, it may not be possible to even do that.
Do you think that you're how old are you, sir?
I'm 44.
44. So do you think by the time you're 84, like 40 years from now, we would have made significant strides in all these kind of things that we're speaking of, or at least some of them?
I hope that we colonize Mars by that time. I mean, not colonize, but we travel to Mars and we establish a foothold over there. But interstellar travel, I don't think it's going to be possible anytime soon. At least in the next 100 years. We are just taking baby steps right now. See, what we have is chemical rockets. Chemical rockets are very, very rudimentary machines. We need a lot of chemistry, a lot of chemicals, and they are very unstable. They can explode at any time. So it's a very difficult and delicate operation just to put a human being into orbit or to send somebody to Earth or Mars at most. But to have the technology to go beyond the solar system or beyond the galaxy is going to require a whole different kind of physics and a whole different kind of technology that we don't have right now.
Got it. And it's primarily about powering the existing machinery that we have. So we probably have the machinery, but we don't have the power.
We need immense amounts of power to go beyond the distances that we are talking about.
Got it.
And chemical rockets are not going to fit that bill because first of all, they're too slow and they require a lot of fuel. So ideally what you want is something like the annihilation of dark matter, or I would say the annihilation of antimatter with matter. So that is a very pure form of energy.
What is antimatter, sir? Okay, first explain what matter is, then explain what antimatter.
So the matter that is around us is the ordinary matter, but we know that there are antiprotons, anti-positrons, anti-electrons, and neutrons. So if you create an atom with antiprotons and positrons, it's an anti-atom.
Okay.
So for example, hydrogen, it has one proton in the nucleus and it has an electron that goes around the proton. That's the simplest atom that we have. Now, instead of the proton, if we take an antiproton and we put a positron around that, that's an anti-hydrogen atom. Okay. Now, the property of antimatter is that if it comes in contact with ordinary matter, it instantaneously annihilates and it releases a huge amount of energy.
Antimatter releases energy. So say that the negative hydrogen, the antimatter hydrogen meets the positive hydrogen. There's an explosion, you're saying?
Yes, they become just pure energy.
Both of them?
Both of them. They spontaneously annihilate each other.
And this is so basically, before the atom bomb was created, Einstein figured out how to create an atom bomb, how to create nuclear energy. And then the application of that was the atom bomb. Now, because of advancements in particle physics, people have figured that, oh wow, now this can happen. This is also another way of creating energy. And this is a huge amount of energy. Therefore, maybe there are applications like interstellar travel.
If we can figure out how to store antimatter, for example, because the moment antimatter is exposed to the atmosphere, it will explode. It will annihilate.
Got it.
So we have to keep it in a perfect vacuum. If even one molecule of oxygen or air comes in contact with it, it's going to create an explosion.
How big is the explosion?
It depends on the energy that is inside the molecule. For example, a proton has a certain amount of energy, 511 MeV. Mega electron volts. Electron has a certain amount of energy. So it depends on how much antimatter comes in contact with ordinary matter. And we can calculate the amount of the explosion.
But is it bigger than an atom bomb?
Yeah, it could easily be bigger than an atom bomb. It can be a very, very powerful source of energy if we can use it right. So we need a certain kind of engineering which has not been invented yet to store it and then make it react with matter in a certain way.